Right now on Action 2 News at 5, people across Wisconsin hunkering down for a major winter storm. See what you can expect for the rest of the night and your commute tomorrow.
Take a look at the status of flights across the area. Green Bay Area Airport, nothing is taking off the rest of tomorrow, through the rest of the tomorrow. We're live tonight with a major impact that today's storm is having on air travelers.
Today's Ash Wednesday for those who observe it. With some planned services now interrupted, the changes made by local churches marking the beginning of Lent.
Action 2 News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. This snowy view behind us now, I-41 in Oshkosh, just one of the perspectives out there of a major winter storm hitting northeast Wisconsin.
Good news, there's not a lot of traffic back there, but when all is said and done, accumulations are expected to be the highest that we've seen in the area for several years now. We have live team coverage with everything you need to know about the storm, and we'll begin with meteorologist David Ernst plotting things out for us in the First Alert Weather Center. David.
Yes, Cammie, so far round one came in as expected, and we still anticipate an additional 5 to 10 inches of snow on top of what has already fallen, and the wind will be picking up over the course of this evening. Gusts 40-45 miles per hour through the evening and tonight. That's going to lead to reduced visibility from blowing snow. In fact, that visibility could drop to near zero at times, so you're talking about whiteout conditions at certain times down the road. And we're looking at the snow continuing steadiest through at least midnight, so your severe weather outlook is in the high category. A look at current road conditions shows most are either snow covered or having slippery stretches, and even a stretch there looks like Highway 76 between Oshkosh and Neenah, or just to the west of Neenah, showing up as ice covered. Here's a live look downtown Oshkosh, and you can see snow-covered roads certainly there, but traffic getting along just fine. Looking a little bit more snowy in terms of just the road being covered here in Shawano. And again, these are major roads that we're talking about, so you get off into the side streets and they are certain to be much more slippery than what we're seeing on the main roads. And again, downtown Green Bay, snow covered to say the least. That snow is pretty much widespread across all of northeastern Wisconsin at this point, and it does continue as we work our way on through the rest of this evening and tonight. In fact, you can see those snow showers extending all the way back into Iowa, Minnesota, the Dakotas, so all of that will be working its way on through. In addition to the snow coming down, creating slippery roads, the wind will be kicking up 15-20 miles per hour sustained right now. Later on tonight, those sustained wind speeds could be upwards of 30 miles per hour or 35. So in some areas, the visibility already down to around a quarter to a half a mile. So dangerous travel already setting up, and roads will only get worse from here as the snowfall continues through the evening. We'll have much more on what to expect coming up in just a little bit.
David, thank you. We now go to Emily Byer. She's out live on the roads in Brown County with the current conditions she's experiencing. Emily.
Hey Bill, we're traveling south on Oneida just past Lambeau Fields. Some of these roads better than others. We've been off on some of those side roads. They are very snow covered, so you want to make sure that you're being extra cautious out there. We've also seen several plows out, but again, just a reminder, it does take a little extra time to get through those rotations of plowing. You can see there too, even us right now kind of sliding just a little bit, and we were applying the brakes a little bit back further, so those roads are just a little slick. I touched base with Keith Gibson a little bit earlier, and I asked him about the visibility, because that's something that we've noticed really get worse here while we've been driving around. He said that visibility is about 3/4 of a mile right now, and it just kind of seems to be getting a little bit worse. We're also seeing that snow you can see just blowing around us, so you just want to make sure that you're being extra cautious. Now, if you do get into a crash, I touched base with the Department of Transportation. They want to remind drivers to stay in your vehicle.
If you slid off the road, there's a good chance that someone else could slide off the road as well, and it's going to be a lot safer for you to be inside of that car versus walking around the side of the highway.
And Mark Simmons, he added too that it's important to remain calm, stay in your vehicle again, and if you are involved in that crash, just make sure that you do call law enforcement right away to report it. We're going to continue checking out the roads here. We'll give you another update later tonight at 6 o'clock. We'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Checking now on those local airports. Take a look at the flight status page for Austin Straubel International Airport. The rest of the day's arrivals and departures are now canceled.
And on top of that, all of tomorrow's departures have also been called off. Emily Riley joins us now live from Appleton International Airport in Greenville with a look at the challenge there for travelers and airport staff. Emily.
Bill, I just took a glance at the board here a few minutes ago, and there's already several flights that are canceled for tomorrow. And an update from Austin Straubel, all flights are canceled for the rest of today. Jesse Funk, the public information officer at the Appleton International Airport, says several snowplows are clearing the runways as the snow picks up.
We deal with snow all the time, so they're out doing their thing. They started plowing last night. I think the first flake started falling about 8:30 or 9 o'clock last night, and they've been out ever since.
Crews are also de-icing planes with warm water and glycol, so flights can still operate. Staff urging passengers to check regularly for flight updates at the airport and online. One woman dropping off a family member for his flight says it was delayed, causing concern.
He came in from Berlin, so I went and got him, brought him here. So it's always a little anxious because then we'd have to take him back home in this weather.
A handful of flights at the Appleton Airport are being either canceled or delayed. Up in Green Bay, they're dealing with similar problems. Roughly half the flights at Green Bay Austin Straubel International Airport were canceled as of Wednesday morning.
We have a lot of cancellations today. Airlines will do that to make sure that their planes are operating safely. And it's not always because of the weather here. It could be at the other airports that these planes are going to, or where they're coming from that are impacting the flights.
Airport officials want to remind those attempting to fly to pack their medication, ID, and a change of clothes in a carry-on bag, and to pack your patience as well. Reporting live in Greenville, Emily Riley, Action 2 News.
Plows are out in full force right now, and they'll be on the road for the remainder of the snowstorm.
It's something that crews have been preparing for really all week, and so have you homeowners and business owners throughout the area. We've been talking about it. Brittany Schmidt talked with people preparing for this second round of snow tonight.
We've been ready all winter long. Unfortunately, snow hasn't come, but now we're ready. We're here and we're ready.
Ready for that second round of snow, putting snow blowers to the test.
There will be people that call. And, unfortunately, we just haven't used them that much this year.
Wes Kim's is ready for those last-minute needs homeowners may have.
Shear pins are the biggest thing right now because we're in a spot where the ground isn't necessarily, frozen. So we're going to be hitting stuff with that snowblower.
Beatrice Moen plans on staying put.
Well, I prepared because I got my groceries and I gassed up and I try to be responsible.
She says a young boy near her house helps with snow removal.
He's my guardian angel, and he does that for me. I said I can wait because I'm not going anywhere when you got all that snow coming.
Brown County's highway commissioner says Beatrice has the right idea because he's expecting a lot of blowing snow this round.
Especially when the snow is cold, okay? And what I mean by that is it's not that heavy wet snow, it's more that colder snow. It blows and it blows and blows and it drifts. And it's the same problem with the drifting that we have with the intensity, is that we can't be everywhere at once.
Fontecchio says his crews will be out on the roads 24/7, keeping an eye on conditions and for those stranded drivers who may need help along the way.
My plow drivers are very good about that. We also, if there's an accident and you'll have the officer behind the accident, a lot of times our plow will be behind the officer. Because if someone runs into our plow, it's a lot more, survivable than someone running into an officer if it's really slick.
In Brown County, Brittany Schmidt, Action 2 News.
Well, this snow is putting a damper on Ash Wednesday services across the area. Emily Roberts joins us live outside the Catholic Diocese of Green Bay with more about that. Emily.
Bill Cammey, the Bishop of the Diocese of Green Bay, sent a notice to pastors yesterday, giving them permission to hand out ashes this Friday after spending days monitoring this storm. And the diocese wants people to remember Ash Wednesday is not a holy day of obligation where Mass is necessary. They're not the only ones making adjustments. St. Mark Ministries canceled their soup supper and evening service in De Pere, opting to stream a video instead. And at Ascension Lutheran Church in Alloway, they gave out bags of ashes to go this week for people to mark the start of Lent in their own homes.
There's a prayer in here, and just as a family or on your own, however many are there, just have that prayer. I have heard from people that was very meaningful. They missed being as a community of believers and worshipers, but it was what we had to do.
Another cancellation. St. Anne's Church in De Pere canceled their Ashes to Go drive up and walk through services. For a full list of closings, head to WBAY.com/closings. Live in Green Bay, Emily Roberts, Action 2 News.
the roads were still snow covered, but we could see gaps where we could see tire tracks in the area. So now they are completely snow covered. Side roads are even worse, so you're going to want to be extra cautious. You can see we're braking right now really far back, coming up to this stoplight right now. And a reminder, we are seeing some drivers, I hate calling people out, but we've seen people driving around with no lights on, as well as cars completely snow covered. You can see right in front of us too, this car is, doesn't have the back window completely cleared out. So, and we know right now visibility is the one thing we've noticed that has really dipped around 5 o'clock. I spoke with Keith Gibson, and he was telling me that it was about 3/4 of a mile visibility, and just at last check with the National Weather Service, we are at about a 1/4 mile visibility now. So I also spoke with the Department of Transportation. They tell me if you don't have to go on these roads, to stay home if you can. There are tow bans in place in some areas. Outagamie County issuing one for I-41 and Highway 441. Wapaka County also issuing tow bans for Highway 60, Highway 45, and Highway 54. Another thing you want to be mindful of is moving over if you see officials on the side of the road.
So one of the sad things with winter weather, there could be ice on the roads and you can slide off and lose control and then potentially slide into one of those police officers or other first responders who are out there trying to make it safer for all of us to make it home safely at the end of the day. So we do ask that you slow down and move over if possible.
And again, reminder, that is a law in Wisconsin. It's called the move over law. Drivers have two options. You need to move over. If you can't safely do so, you have to reduce your speed. Now, stay with us on air and online. We're going to continue to keep you updated on the very latest weather conditions. For now, we'll send it back to you guys.
Emily, thank you. Driving conditions also dangerous in the Fox Valley if you're out there. Jason Zimmerman joining us from the street with what we're seeing right now. Jason.
Yeah, Cami, there's cars on the road right now, some traffic here near downtown Appleton. We are just turning onto Richmond from College Avenue west of downtown. But what's interesting is that there's a lot less cars than what you would normally expect to see for an evening commute out here. So certainly some people are staying home tonight, or they simply left early from work knowing that there was a pending snowstorm. I know since around 2 o'clock this afternoon, conditions have gotten gradually worse to be out on the road. Wasn't too bad when I came into work around 2, but now there's a significant amount of snow that has built up on many of the city streets in the Appleton area. And so that is bogging down traffic. It's making it a little bit tougher to slow down. But we're taking it slow. We're just reducing our speed a bit. We're seeing a lot of plows out on the street already. We're seeing a few people shoveling too, trying to get a jump start on it. But another thing to keep in mind, if a vehicle passes you, if it's a semi truck or a plow, you tend to get a quick burst of snow in your direction, and that's probably the biggest threat right now, is that visibility factor, because as it is, you can't see too far ahead of you, but when you get that burst of snow, that really cuts into your ability to be able to see on the road, whether it's right here in town where it's a little bit better lit, or out on the highway where there's not as much light out on Interstate 41. So that's probably the biggest obstacle you're going to face, and it's not going to get any better as we continue, as this storm progresses throughout the night. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Reporting live in Appleton, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.
Jason, thank you. Now we turn from the road to air travel. All flights out of Green Bay's airport have been canceled today. It's part of dozens of flight delays and cancellations throughout northeast Wisconsin. Emily Riley live now at the Appleton International Airport with what officials there are urging travelers to do. Emily.
Bill, they're asking people to pack their patience as even more flights here are canceled for tomorrow. At Green Bay Austin Straubel International Airport, all of their flights are canceled for today and several are canceled tomorrow. Travelers we spoke with earlier today who are facing delays said they're anxious about driving in the snow if their flight gets canceled. Crews have been busy de-icing planes and performing other snow operations to keep things running as smoothly as possible. The assistant airport director shares advice for those attempting to fly.
My recommendation is to pack an extra change of clothes, your medication, your ID, and your carry-on, and then to pack your patience.
Airport officials are also urging passengers to regularly check the status of their flights either at the airport or online. Reporting live in Greenville, Emily Riley, Action 2 News.